when you're in pain, when you're in crisis, when you're in trauma, when people are out of balance emotionally because of stress, the normal way the brain works is it prepares for the worst. So when we're injured, we're in crisis, we're selecting the worst thing that could happen to us instead of the best thing that could happen to us. And when you select that future, there's an emotional response like fear or anxiety. Turns out that those chemicals give the body an arousal, and they give them a rush, give us a rush. So here I am trying to focus on what I do want to have happen.
Right.
But my brain keeps going back to what I don't want to have happen. So
Sure.
6.5 weeks of a dark night of the soul, because I had to train my brain, and I knew if I said the design has to be pure, it has to be complete, I have to reconstruct every vertebrae. If I lose my focus and I start thinking about living in a wheelchair, whoops, that's the wrong signal. So just by intuition, I started working on my presence, my ability to pay attention and stay present. And every time I lost the present moment, I would come back. And I started to notice that when I got frustrated and I did it, would get worse. When I just noticed that it happened and I came back,
non-judgment observation.
yeah, there was just no emotional reaction, there was no charge, and I was able to navigate. And at the end of 6 weeks, I just felt like I hit a tennis ball in the sweet spot.
So were you just, so was this meditation, pure just meditation, or was this intentional of a visualization of something?
It was both.
Visualizing?
It was both. I knew that I'd have to first get in the present moment.
Yeah.
You know when someone's present with you in your life because they're paying attention. You know when they're not present with you, they're not paying attention. So this is an intelligence. I got to be present with it and create a very clear design. So then I would have to, what I knew from my background in hypnosis is I would have to slow my brain waves down, get beyond my analytical mind. Now, once I'm in that state, I would have a clear intention, a very clear intention and very clear focus. And when I started doing it well, my emotional state started to change. Instead of feeling frustrated, fearful, impatient, resentful, I was feeling joy and freedom, and because I was suppressing those emotional states every time I got present, because those emotions bring us back to the past. So I had to work over time. And what I didn't know that I was doing the whole entire time was I was improving my brain's ability to pay attention and focus. That means I could visualize better.
Yeah.
But secondly, more importantly, I was able to relax more into the present moment. And by doing that and holding a very clear picture, I started to notice very strong changes in my brain. I was laying down new circuits. I was creating a new mind, and nerve cells that fire together wire together. If you keep doing it, just like driving a race car, it's going to get easier because you become what you practice. But you got to pay attention. You got to repeat it. You got to learn. You got to keep experiencing. So at the end of 6 weeks, it just kind of all came together. But those 6 weeks, I was struggling because it was just kind of this unlearning process. It was pruning neurological, breaking habits of thought and emotions. And then it worked. And so then I was back on my feet in 10 weeks. And then I just said if I was ever able to walk again, I'd spend the rest of my life studying the mind-body connection and mind over matter. And that's what I've been doing since 1986. And the hardest part about change is making a new choice. So go back 30 years and the doctor said to you, she said, hey, you need this kind of health treatment for this health condition. We're going to take out your uterus, and if we're in there, we'll take out your gallbladder. And everybody just said, oh, great, thank you, you know.
Yeah, take it all. I don't need it.
Fast forward to today, you got information. And information is awareness, and awareness is consciousness. So there's a change in consciousness about what's available. So when people get a diagnosis today, they don't just sign on the dotted line, they actually research their own health condition. When you do that, it gives you more choices to make. So then when they start saying to the doctor, hey, I'd like to try this treatment, or I'd like to try this therapy, and the doctor says, oh, that doesn't work, or I don't know anything about that, they say, great, time to find a new doctor. So people are starting to make better health choices when they're in a better position. So during that time, there was not a lot of evidence back in the 80s and 90s that said that this was possible. In fact, you were considered a hippie, right?
Yeah.
But now you fast forward to today, and because information is so available and people are starting to apply that information, now we're starting to see dramatic changes. We've done numerous brain scans to show that you can change your brain in 4 days.